All right, guys, I've put up a couple of zone things on categorizing zone run. Here we're going to talk about some of the man schemes. Someone had specifically asked for ISO, trap, counter, and power. So talking ISO first, ISO just means we've got a backfield player who is taking a second level player. That's the ISO part. And then all the other matchups are going to function like man or duo or however you want to call them. That's probably the most basic format of everything we've talked about. Trap means we are going to introduce one puller. Okay, so if we put ourselves a defensive tackle here, we're going to pull and kick out. Ordinarily, you're going to kick out the high tech and an even front. So if we've got a 2 and a 3, we want to kick out the 3 tech. So if we had a 2 here, we don't want to try to kick out the guy closer to the center. We want to kick out the guy further from the center. If we get an odd front where we're not getting a high tech, we're only getting a 0 or a shade, well, then we might long trap it all the way to the end. But trap, as a general rule, only has one puller. When we want to turn trap into counter, it means we add a second puller. So now we have the kick out on the end hasn't changed, but now we're pulling a tight end or a fullback or potentially the backside tackle for that front side backer here, right? And I apologize, it's not contiguous because we'll need the fullbacks and other stuff. But counter means we're kicking out the end with the lineman, and then the second puller is pulling through to the second level to that play side backer. Power is going to essentially invert these things, and we're going to use the backfield player to kick out the end, and now the guard is the one pulling for that second level, right? So it's a little bit more responsibility on the part of the backfield at the line of scrimmage. To me, that's personally a tougher kick out, which is why I tend to lean towards counter, not power. But to be fair, there are teams that are great at power too. But it's a pretty tough kick out for the fullback on an end, but a good fullback gets it done. You can also do it with an inline tight end or something, trying to kick it out. And now the guard, instead of kicking out the end, is wrapping the linebacker, that play side backer, and that's power. So 4 basic kind of man or gap schemes, right? We said ISO, which is where we're going to lead to that lead the fullback. Trap, where we have one puller, and then counter and power, we have 2 pullers, with counter kicking out the end, and power it being he becomes the lead guy going to the second level.